And neighbors did not wait to an alarm clock, but instead gunshots. And we hear reports that it happened right here in this apartment complex, this apartment building right behind me.
Rick Jackson is via our mobile live unit this morning, heading in the area from Tallapoosa Street out to Tarrant with the very latest. Rick, what's going on?
Yes, guys, we saw a number of police officials, and as you can see, we're driving up on the scene right now. We've been traveling since just Oxmoor Road there in Homewood.
That chase has been going on for miles, and we have been along the ride with it. It's now ended along Tallapoosa Street here. As you can see, this is the vehicle that has had the accident. It was carrying two people. They're now both in custody. I've had a word with Vestavia police, and they've both told me that the suspects were breaking and entering vehicles, and that's when they got on the interstate, and they've led a wild goose chase basically with 4 different police agencies. We have Vestavia Hills, Homewood, Tarrant, and Birmingham on the scene. Now the Tarrant Fire Department has been here to put out the fire on the car. Everything seems to be okay as far as the suspect's condition. Doesn't seem to be life-threatening, but we do know they are now in custody. We had a chance to see into the car. I know at least one of the suspects is a white male. We're working on getting more information. The entire highway here has been shut down, and they're slowly starting to divert cars into another direction. So if you are coming and traveling on Tallapoosa Street out of the area of Tarrant, you may want to take an alternate route this morning because of the shutdown. But again, 2 suspects now in custody, according to Vestavia Hills Police. They were breaking and entering, and that led this chase for miles, and we caught up with them at Oxmoor Road in Homewood. They are now in custody in this car behind me, and the police have now got this situation under control along with the fire department, now put out the fire, and I think they're slowly starting to move traffic again along the highway. We are working to get you more information on this story, but for now, reporting live here in Tarrant, Rick Jackson, back to you in the studio. Yes, it's a very sad situation right now. As you can see, the family very emotional. The coroner has arrived here on the scene. This is Rose Garden apartment complex here next to Ansley Seafood Express. The grandmother very emotional there as the body of the victim being taken away right now. Shelby County deputies came in to discover one person was found dead. You know, the cones and the narrow lanes, and you add that with rain. If you're in this area on Highway 280 and Highway 119 yesterday, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Hot diggity dog. It is National Hot Dog Day. We're here at Gus Hot Dogs, and no, it is not too early for hot dogs. Get out and get yourself going. Get that body right. Get fit. Strive to live well, people. Rick Jackson here live in Homewood with Firm Body Boot Camp, and all of my friends out here who are so much more in better shape than I am. Back to you guys. Good morning, guys. It was definitely a scary situation for this person, but the incident has already prompted her employer, the hospital, to make strides to increase safety for the patients, the staff, and visitors. It's building up here in this area, so if you're coming from the Moody area, the Leeds area, any of these areas behind me, the Brompton area, you're asked to come a little bit earlier to work this morning and get used to that commute because, hey, this is going to be going on for the next 3 months.
Hi, Rick. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing? I can do a little dance, too, whatever it takes for some free Chick-fil-A, because I wasn't here at 6 o'clock yesterday like most of these folks. And we don't know the nature of those injuries, how many people were injured, but we do know someone lost their life here last night. Since we've been out here this morning, we've seen neighbors come through, sort of stopping and looking, and as you can imagine, they're probably a little shaken up that this is happening right here in their apartment complex, but fire has claimed the life of one person here. We will be on top of this story to give you the very latest. A lot of adults do not know how to swim, and I want to tell you this, according to USA Swimming, about 66% of African-American children can't swim, and a lot of them never learning. I was one of them until about 4 years ago. Here on the job at CBS 42, I was out at a pool store and I slipped into 8 feet of water, did not know how to swim, and I nearly drowned because people thought I was kidding, and I wasn't. I was an adult. It was an embarrassing experience for me, but even as an adult, I learned how to swim, and I encourage anyone out there, if you do not know how to swim, it's never too late. I took a class with a 62-year-old woman, never swam before, but she said she wanted to learn because she had grandchildren, and she wanted to be a part of that in case a tragedy was to occur out on the water. So it's never too late to learn how to swim. I am a living testimony of that. 4 years to the date, I learned how to swim as an adult, and you can too. Be a part of this big swim lesson. It's going to be an amazing event. It's safety first. Summer is here, and we want to make sure our kids and adults know what to do in the water. Reporting live in Bessemer, Rick Jackson, back to you in the studio.
A toddler is without his father tonight after yet another homicide in Birmingham.
The man was shot several times in his car. Police pronounced Montage Leatherwood dead on the scene before sunrise. CBS 42's Rick Jackson explains people who live nearby are now afraid for their own lives.
The visual was too much to bear for family and friends as 24-year-old Montage Leatherwood was wheeled away. The young father was found shot to death in his white Cadillac outside of the Rose Garden apartment complex in Inslee. Tracy Todd is frustrated with the constant crime around her home. She says Leatherwood was a good man that didn't deserve to die.
I've only been here a few months, and it's been going on for at least 2-3 months now with the shooting constantly, whether they're shooting around here on this end or on the back side. A lot of stuff needs to be cracked down on.
Now she lives in fear that she or her small children could become caught in the crossfire of a stray bullet.
A shooting just went on some weeks ago, and I had a bullet hole to come through my wall and into my tub. So that was one of the bathrooms. I took my kids in when the shooting started happening. And luckily, I took them out of that bathroom and put them in the other one.
Birmingham Police Captain Harry Irby says the majority of the homicide cases they've investigated have not been random, and they encourage residents to stay calm but vigilant.
I want people to know that we are still safe in the city of Birmingham, and the police department is doing everything in its power to ensure that stays that way.
Like others before it, this crime adds fuel to the fear and anger of these residents. They're asking police to patrol the area more often. Reporting in Inslee, Rick Jackson, CBS 42 News.
Now, there have been no arrests made in this case. If you do have any information, please call Crime Stoppers.
CBS 42 is the only station on the scene as this all unfolded. Our Wake Up Alabama crew brought you the exclusive story this morning. Tonight, CBS 42's Rick Jackson and photographer Will Rain started at the beginning when officers sprang into action.
And as you can see, we're driving up on the scene right now.
We brought you these images exclusively on Wake Up Alabama as two suspects led police on a wild chase through several cities. This after a victim tells Vestavia police that the men were breaking into his vehicle just before dawn.
I understand he tried to make efforts to slow them up or detain them, and they fled.
That proved to be a bad idea. It wasn't long before several officers from 4 different jurisdictions were on their trail. The suspects were put in cuffs on Pinson Valley Parkway. Along with the arrests, officers confiscated several items from the vehicle that belonged to other victims.
Property has been recovered. We have determined that at this point there's 3 victims that we can identify. We expect there'll be more. We're working with other jurisdictions to confirm that.
The incident occurred in this area of Vestavia, but of course something like this can happen anywhere, and that's why police say it's important to not leave your valuables inside your car, and that includes your cell phone. Most of these break-ins, according to police, are happening in residential areas and gyms before the sun rises. In Vestavia, Rick Jackson, CBS 42 News.
Okay, Rick, good work. Thank you so much.
A local doctor says a different approach to the procedure could possibly have patients moving about in just one day. One patient who traveled across 2 oceans for the procedure says she can attest to that quick recovery. CBS 42's Rick Jackson has her story.
Actress May Heatherly is enjoying her vacation at her sister's home in Mountain Brook. It may be hard to believe, but she just had a hip replacement a few weeks ago. And as you can see, she's not missing a step.
There were no restrictions. I could cross my legs, I could bend down. I didn't have to be afraid that my hip was going to come out.
She joins a number of other happy patients calling the relatively new procedure innovative. It was enough for her to make the 15-hour trip from Spain to Princeton Baptist Medical Center in Birmingham. Dr. Theodis Buggs performed the surgery. In comparison to the traditional hip replacement surgery, he says the incision is smaller, which makes it less painful and recovery much faster.
We have stories of patients 2 weeks out playing tennis, hitting tennis balls, 1 month out hiking.
As for May, she's ready to carry on with the lights, camera, and action that comes with her acting career.
There's just been no downtime, really. I think he is an amazing doctor, and I would recommend him to anyone.
but she plans to stick around just a bit longer before heading back to Spain, now that she can enjoy family and friends pain-free. In Birmingham, Rick Jackson, CBS 42 News.
Dr. Theotis Bugg says this procedure is unique because it cuts interiorly between the muscles, unlike the traditional way, which cuts through the muscle.